The CDC put out a warning earlier this week. People who are not fully vaccinated should avoid travel over Labor Day weekend. But DIA is expecting another busy holiday weekend, and that means there will probably be lots of traffic on the roads. Here to talk about what to expect is Skyler McKinley with Colorado's AAA. Good morning, Skyler.
Good morning.
Hey, thank you for joining us this morning. So kind of tell us, just how busy do you think it's going to get?
So Labor Day tends to be one of the softer travel holidays, but it's still significantly busier than your regular weekend, I should say. So we're seeing probably in the neighborhood of around 650,000 Coloradans traveling. That's in addition to everybody traveling to and through Colorado. And while you might think that the worst traffic is behind us, actually Labor Day itself is when we see a majority of those travelers returning home. So it is an exciting time because it does show that the economy's on the mend, but safety and security need to be at top of the mind.
Now, a lot of drivers want to make sure that they, get a head up on things and they don't run into problems. So what are some tips that you have for those drivers before heading out?
I would say that we know that Labor Day is the second deadliest holiday and that 94% of those fatalities are preventable. They relate to impaired driving. They relate to not wearing a seatbelt. They relate to speeding and texting. So look, just be an attentive driver, focus on the act of driving. I would also say that you should really brush up on the various regulations depending on where you're traveling to. In addition to motorist safety, we're still dealing with a pandemic. And to the extent that different counties, different municipalities have different rules, we have a responsibility to protect our neighbors.
And Skyler, I'm glad you mentioned, the pandemic, because obviously we're right in the middle of it still and people are going to be traveling. So what should people make sure they have in their cars? I'm someone who's forgetful. So what should I have before I leave?
Our number one piece of advice right now, and we just saw this news out of Boulder, is make sure you've got masks, make sure you've got a variety of them. While your community might not have a mask mandate, certainly small businesses in some of the communities you visit might, or generally at a countywide level, you might see that. Beyond that, though, we want to minimize stopping based off the CDC guidance. So while if you're vaccinated, it might be safe to travel. That's true. You still want to minimize your risk exposure. So that means having snacks in the car. It means packing hand sanitizer. It means charting out your gas stops. It just takes a little extra homework to travel this year compared to your typical Labor Day road trip.
We always enjoy you keeping us prepared, especially around the holidays. So thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Safe travels.
You too.